So let's start with the first one. We're going to go back to that S-wave motion we were doing in the warm-up. But this time we're going to be a little more sincere about it. So I want you guys to just leave your hands in front of you. And I want you to just, again, lead with the pelvis. We're not going to really incorporate the legs yet. We're going to work up to that. So I want you to just kind of lead with your pelvis, and then your belly button, and then your chest, and then back down. And if you're having trouble with it, just try watching me. See if that helps. And you just want to do a real mild amplitude here. We're gonna get crazy later. But for now, just really mild amplitude. I want you to start to think about your spine when you're doing this. And try to imagine each vertebra in your spine. You guys keep doing it while I walk around. Try to imagine each vertebra in your spine moving in turn. Now, yeah. Absolutely. So when I first started doing this, I'll show you what I looked like right here. It was like this. It was very, very stiff. And some of you might be like that now, and that's totally fine. As you start working on this, as you start doing it, your back will eventually loosen up. And it will get easier. The muscles will get stronger, and it'll be easier to do this more smoothly. Now in my handout, I talk about incorporating your arms. This is a little complicated, but what you can do is, when your pelvis comes out, you bring your arms in. And as you come up, they stay on your chest and then come out. So they're kind of doing a reverse circle from where you're going. This can help you to get into the motion and get them into the rhythm of what's going on. So as your pelvis comes out to meet your hands stay next to your body as they come up, and then they go out as you go out. So you create a little circle. It's almost like you're creating a little ball. And then again, you can incorporate your breath if you want. If this is enough for you, don't worry about your breath. If you want to incorporate your breath, inhale as your arms come up. Exhale as they go down. And don't feel badly if that's too much. And out. Good. Good. I think we all have that. So again, I'm going to give you guys handouts that explain all this, but I want you to go through it with me now, so that when you look at the handouts, they make more sense to you. Okay? Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this S-wave again, but we're going to, I'm sorry, before we do the S-wave again, I'm getting ahead of myself, we're going to do a little circling of the waist again, just like we did in the warm-ups. So what you can do is, I find this a little easier when I put one hand kind of on my belt buckle and the other hand right in the small of my back. Again, feet about shoulder width apart. And then I just want you guys to move in a circular motion and try to move with a little bit more amplitude than we did in the beginning. What I mean is try to do a wider circle. But again, to the edge of your pain. And if you're in too much pain, you can lean against the wall, you can lean against the back of a chair. Remember, when I started doing these exercises, I could not do this. I could not stand up and do this. I had to do it leaning up against the back of a chair. So there's no shame. No shame in that. So again, for now, we'll do about 4 or 5 times each direction. Or one direction rather, and then switch to the other direction. Now breathing in this position doesn't really matter. You just kind of breathe easily. Stay relaxed. You can bend your knees a little if you like. And this shouldn't hurt at all. If it hurts, just back off on make your circle a little smaller, or lean up against something. And again, if I'm going to lean up against something, just something solid. And when I lean up against it, that takes all the pressure off my back. So now my back doesn't have to support my weight, and I can still get the motion in there. Because we want to get that motion in. We want to restore that motion. Good. Good. Great. Now we're going to go back to the S-wave. So we give our back a little break, and then we come back to the S-wave. You'll notice that this concept of this S-wave is really the most important part of this exercise. The idea of getting each vertebra in your back to move individually, just kind of going back like this as we do the S-wave. nice and gently. And when we do that, we pump fluid. We get those discs in between to start pumping. And then if you have a disc bulge, the idea is we're trying to allow some space in your spine, to allow that bulge to go back where it came from, get back inside your spine. Now a lot of physical therapy, they'll do a lot of back arching exercises, and the idea is they're trying to work that disc bulge back into your spine. But in order for us to do that, we have to get those muscles to relax. We have to get those muscles to relax and create a little bit of length. So all these exercises are designed to do that, to create some length and get those muscles to relax. It's not instant. It doesn't work overnight. It doesn't work even in a week or a month. But you do this every day and it will get better. You will get stronger. And it will help. I've seen this exercise work for a lot of people, of course myself included. So let's get back to the S-wave. Now this time with the S-wave, I want you guys to put one hand on your belt buckle and one hand on your chest. And so this is going to help you guide this movement. We're going to do a little more amplitude this time. And again, if this is hurting, please sit on the edge of a chair and that's fine. So again, leading with the pelvis and then the chest. And then back down. Lead with the pelvis and then the chest and back down. And your hands will give you a little bit more awareness of where your body is. You can do these different hand positions at any time during these exercises. Don't feel obliged to only do them in the order that I have them. If you find that it's a lot easier to have your hands in this position when you're doing the S-wave, you can do it right from the very beginning this way. This just gives you some different ideas for how to do it, and different ones will work for different people. So just increase the amplitude as feels good to you. And again, it should never hurt. If it hurts, your muscles are going to tighten up and you're going to guard. And that will keep us from doing what we want to accomplish. That's why it should never hurt when you're doing this. That concept of no pain, no gain, stop being relevant when you're about 19 years old. Now, if there's pain, that means our body's telling us to back off. And now we have to listen. Good, guys, that's good. It's good for starters. Excellent. You guys are doing great. Alright. So let's get back to that one. We're going to do that again. And as we do it, we're going to turn from side to side. So what it's going to look like is this. I'm just going to do it like I was doing it. And then I'm going to slowly turn to the side as I'm doing it. And then back to the middle. And again to the side. Now the last of these S-wave maneuvers we're going to do. And this time when you do this last one, you just try to get as much amplitude out of it as you can. And so, again, if you're in pain, you can just do it the way you were doing it before, that's fine. But this time you want to incorporate the legs. So if you guys haven't been incorporating the legs yet, this is where you get the legs involved too. And so this is where I go down into a bend. So I lead with my knees, and then my thighs, and then my pelvis, stomach, chest, and up. And you can do whatever you want with your arms. For me, it's a little easier to do the swing. If you want, you can keep them attached to your body. Might be a little less strain on the back. So again, knees. And again, when you're doing this, I still want you to focus on your back, on your spine. Still try to think of each vertebrae moving in turn. So if you're having trouble doing that, just back off on the amplitude a little bit. Probably means you're doing a little too much, because the focus always has to be on your spine. So just think about each vertebrae moving like a big wave. Just in turn. Just like waves going up your back. Again, we do this about 5, 6, 7 times, 10 times if you can, if you have the endurance. But that's good for now. You guys done well. Now the last thing we're going to do is going to be a little tricky in this tightest space. But I'll show you what it looks like. And if we don't have enough space to do it, you guys can practice it at home, then at least you'll know what we're talking about. And I'll maybe walk around the room a little bit to show you guys, or at the end, when we have a seat, if you have questions, I can show it again. But again, it's basically based in the S-wave concept, but I'm going to incorporate my arms. And this is from crane-style Qi Gong, or crane-style Kung Fu, where you'll notice the arms are kind of like the wings, like the beating of the wings. So the way it looks at first, and just try to watch me to begin before we do it, is I'm just going to bring, and I'll move around the room a little bit for those in the back who maybe can't see. But I'll start out here, and I'm just going to bring the arms in. So remember the S-wave. The S-wave looks like this. So it's just like this, with the legs and the back. And now I'm going to incorporate the arms. So as my knees come forward, my arms come back, and then they come forward like this into the arch, and then they come back in as I come forward. Now when you do this, remember to keep your shoulders relaxed. Your shoulders should not come up. I don't want to see this coming up like that. The shoulders need to stay down here. So you kind of lead with the elbows. That's how I think about it. This is really kind of an elbow movement. Elbows come forward, and then they come back. If it's too much to get together, just do the arms. Just try doing the arms without incorporating the body, and let the body come in later. I'm just going to walk. This will, and if you guys are in pain when you're doing this, you can have a seat while you're doing it. Is anyone's back hurting while you're doing this?
Well, yeah, but mine isn't my lower back, it's my upper back.
Upper back. So upper back's bothering you, just back off. If there's any of these exercises that we do that is hurting some part of your body, you don't have to do it. It's not like you lose benefit of the whole exercise if you leave one of these out. If you can just do one of these exercises, you're going to be getting benefit. If you do the whole thing, you get more benefit, but this last one, it's just kind of, it's the most extreme of them. And so if you're having trouble, it's okay. Now you might have a little better trouble if you're having trouble with your upper back of just doing the one arm that I'm going to show you. And so with the one arm version, you put one hand on your hip, and the same thing, knees are where they are, you just come forward with one arm, and then bring it back. And so this involves a little bit of a twisting motion. I want you to be really smooth, really slow when you do this. I want you to have a lot of awareness of what's going on in your back. All your awareness right there where you have your pain, and make sure this isn't going to bother it.
When you come, what you're doing with your wrist, is that an important part?
It's not too important, but it makes it a little easier. So I just come forward and then back. And when I come forward, I drop the knee a little bit of the hand I'm coming forward with. So for me, I'm coming forward with my right hand. I let my right knee bend a little bit as I kind of twist my body. And it just makes it a little bit easier. It gets a little bit of twist. And then do the other side. You'll find it's going to be easier on one side than the other. Probably your dominant hand will be easier. And if your upper back's giving you trouble, you might try this. If it's, see, doing it one arm at a time is going to be easier. So come forward kind of with your back of your hand forward, turn it over, and like you're holding a tray, bring it right into your hip. Forward and then back. You can bend that knee of the hand that's coming forward when you come forward, just to make it easier. So this gets a little bit of that, and if you want, you can start to incorporate a little bit of the S-wave in. So as your hand comes forward, you bend forward. As it comes towards you, you kind of move up and arch your back. Good. You guys are naturals. I'm impressed. One more, and then that's good. So that's it. That's it for the exercises. A lot of you are thinking, God, that's it? That's so simple. The exercises are very powerful. You know, there's a saying that doing Qi Gong is easy. Doing Qi Gong every day is hard. And to a certain extent, like with all habits, that's true. But if you can make it a habit, it's going to help. Now, one of the things we do to close, if you have the opportunity, is to go for a little walk. If you can go for a little walk around the block, something like that, just to get some more movement in. If you don't have that opportunity, if you're in the office or if you're in the handicap stall in the bathroom like I used to be, then there's something else you can do, and it's basically just swinging your arms. Now, I don't think we probably have enough space in here to do it, so I'll just show you what I mean. It's real simple. You just swing your arms forward, back and forth, just like this. It doesn't seem like much, but you want to do it about 50 to 200 times, whenever you kind of have time for it. And when you do this, it's just kind of resetting everything. And if you have the ability, and again, when I first started doing this, I couldn't do this part. But when your arms come forward, you lift the legs. So you lift your knee, so like that.
Oh.
So this is kind of mimicking the concept of walking. You're giving a little bit of a stretch in your lower back when you do this. But again, if this hurts, you do not have to do this. And that's the idea. Just do that about 50 times. And that's going to start to build some strength too. But if that hurts, please don't do it. You can just go for a little walk around the block and that's fine.